this is a big night because Messi has come and is going to play in the United States and play in Miami, and there was so much fanfare and all that about it. And it's interesting to see how many people will tune in and what kind of impact he'll have here. But, TJ, let me go here. First, I'll ask you, how much do you know about Messi? Are you into soccer at all? You have kids. Most kids nowadays have played soccer. Are you into soccer at all?
I am into soccer. I'm not going to sit up here and act like I watch the Premier League and things of that nature and MLS, but I have some buddies that play soccer. But TJ is watching the World Cup. I'm not worried about no Messi today. I'm watching the United States of America women's national team. I'm watching us play Vietnam. Now, I know we start at 6, and Messi's game, I believe, with Miami starts at 5. But if I'm watching soccer, I'm watching the U.S. national team today. Just bad timing for them.
Yeah, but there are a lot of people. I hear you, and the U.S. team, women's team, but Messi, of course, is a big story. They say he's going to come off the bench. He's not starting. But let me go here. And a lot of people be like, I'm not watching that. I'm not into soccer. I could care less. And I know those are the people. There are plenty of those people out there, TJ. But let me tell you, you've been ignoring it long enough. You're acting like it doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things. Yes, soccer is huge internationally and outside of the United States. And people don't believe that our traditional sports will ever take a back seat. Since I was a kid, TJ, okay, I always heard soccer's going to be the next big thing. Blah, blah, blah. It's going to be bigger than everything else in the United States. People are going to be into soccer because it's huge all over the world. And that never really happened. But I'm here to tell you that it won't be long, TJ, and I'm going to give it 25 years, that soccer and baseball will overthrow the NFL and become the biggest things in this country. And I'm going to give you the reasons why. It's not some hate on the NFL. The NFL's great. It's Sunday. It's once a week. It's perfectly put together. But here's what I think most people aren't thinking about. In this country, as it turns, TJ, more and more Hispanic, and it is, they will be the majority in this country. And it ain't 200 years from now, okay? It just isn't. Look at the statistics. Look at the predictions. And when you talk about Hispanic people, not that they don't love football and they don't love any other sports, TJ, crazy about soccer, crazy about baseball. Am I off on this?
No, you're not. And if I would have an argument against that, would be this. Baseball, number one, it's an expensive sport to play. And so if you come from a low-income background, it's hard to play baseball growing up. It's expensive. A good bat is $400. You got to get lessons. And everybody is not going to have family members that play that can kind of teach you. And that's why it's hard. If you look at there's not many low-income kids that play baseball. They try to put the Major League Academy in Compton. They have one out here in Orange County as well. But it's an expensive sport. You got to get a bat every year, $400, your cleats, the dues to play, the travel. That's where I'm not sure. Soccer, the same thing. If you get on a club team out here in soccer, you're paying $2,500 for the fall, $2,500 for the spring and summer. People can't afford that.
You know what? That's all fair.
That's the kicker at a younger age.
No, that's all fair. But I'm talking about, and you know this, here in Los Angeles, the Dodgers sell 4 million tickets. I don't know when the last time you were at a Dodger game.
I go quite often. I go to about 20 a year. Okay,
you know what I'm talking about. The Hispanic population and community, they love
it. They love it.
The Dodgers.
Yes, they love it.
And here's the other part why I think it will eventually, when it comes to soccer and baseball, here's the other things that will finally do it. More and more kids, parents aren't letting them play football. we haven't seen the effect of it yet as far as better athletes and great athletes. And I'm not saying, TJ, nobody's going to play it. But we'll eventually see a decline in the talent because some parents will just say, we don't want you to play football because we know more about CTE and the other issues.
It's a great point.
Okay? Gambling. Baseball is going to surpass when gambling becomes a national thing and every state has it, TJ. There are more baseball games to gamble on, which will be a bonanza for baseball as far as financially. And the game is slow enough that I can bet on every pitch, if a guy hits a home run, if a guy walks. Do you know what I mean? Not just the game. Football, you only have 17 games or 17 weeks. So there's the other part of it. And when I look at a city like Los Angeles, and I remember when the Lakers and the Dodgers both won the World Series, won the championship. Dodgers won the World Series. You remember, TJ, 2020, and the Lakers won. Who had the higher TV ratings in Los Angeles? It was the Los Angeles Dodgers. And all I'm saying is when you add up all of these things, I'm not talking about next week, TJ. 25 years from now, they'll replay this tape because I see which way it's going. So you ignore soccer all you want. It will be a dominant, probably number one or 1A, and baseball will be 1 or 1B. And those two sports in the next 25 years will be the sports that are the most popular in the country.
So soccer will have to, number one, in the United States, they're going to have to increase their pay. These parents aren't going to push their kids into soccer if in the United States they make far less than baseball, basketball, football, so forth and so on. In Europe, it's great, but in the United States, the pay it's no comparison. So if they want it to be as big as it is in Europe, they're going to have to pay like they pay in Europe. If that's the case, it will never get on par with football if the pay does not increase. And I got a pretty good example. So my best friend, I've been knowing this dude since we were kids. His son right now is a stud in baseball. Just had his little nationals this past couple weeks ago. He had like 9 home runs in like 6 games.
Wow.
9 home runs. Big, he's tall, he's fast, really good in football, really good in basketball, but he loves baseball. And what you just said, his dad, we played college football together, and he's like, I don't know if I want my son to play for him. I'm like, well, you better figure it out. He's 11 now. He's 11. He's 5'10".
Right.
Like, you better figure it out now. And he's leaning towards baseball. Whereas my son, who right now seems to be a pretty good athlete, but he's not 11. He's only 9.
Right.
And he enjoys baseball, but football is his favorite sport. And we've never played tackle. We just played flag. And so there's ways to not play football at an early age to where you, quote unquote, could possibly damage yourself if you play flag. Flag football is getting more and more popular, and that's a resource that people can go to play and not just play tackle right away. But soccer, the soccer part of it, you have a point. But if they do not start paying
right
more money, soccer is not even part of the equation. And just look at baseball. You're really not a free agent unless you're a Bryce Harper or
we're gonna
Mike
see,
Trout.
Right.
You're not a free agent until you're 29, 30 years old.
But we're going to see Shohei get about $600 million.
Hey, but how many Shoheis are in this world?
No, there aren't that many.
Just one. No, there's not that. There's only one. There's only one.
That's fair. All right, let's do this. I can't wait to hear from people. You think I'm crazy or whatever, or is it fair to say that soccer and baseball will become America's most popular sport in the next 25 years? I've laid out a case. TJ can't even argue hard against me, right? I mean, my case is solid, but maybe you don't agree with me. Maybe you just think that soccer will never catch on, but a lot of it has to do with the population. Let's have a conversation about it.